Alright. Hi guys, welcome to the Red Porcupine YouTube channel. My name is Taylor.
I'm Jason.
And we're going to be going through some stuff about rod building, but this being our first video, I figured we would do just a quick introduction. Jason, you grew up fishing in South Florida, right?
I didn't grow up fishing in South Florida. I actually grew up in North Florida and started fishing up there. Largemouth bass, redfish, sea trout. Did some offshore stuff with my dad, deep sea, snapper, yellowfin tuna, amberjack, cobia, stuff like that. And then moved down to South Florida and became a snook fisherman. What about you?
Got indoctrinated into the snook fishing.
Yeah, became a fucking snook fishing nut job.
So you just drive yourself crazy all the time.
Yeah. Basically, I make myself insane by snook fishing.
What's your PB snook?
47.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yours?
I got you by a ½ inch.
Are you sure?
I'm sure, man.
Yeah, you didn't tilt the camera to get a little bit better?
Oh no, I popped its back.
Oh, okay. You separated the
to
spinal cord to get the extra
half inch. Dude, I fucking popped its back for sure.
Okay.
No,
Killed it.
He was legit 48. Crushed mullet head off a dock. Didn't even know I had him on until I picked the rod up to check the bait.
So I don't want to get ridiculed for giving away secret baits, but the 47.5 was also on a dead bait.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, wild.
Because how often do you fish dead bait for snook now?
Never.
No.
If I catch a snook on dead bait, it's bycatch fishing.
And you don't tell anybody.
Yeah, and I don't tell anybody I caught it on dead bait. I'm like, I fucking got that fish on a fucking gizzard mullet.
Yeah.
What about you? Where'd you grow up fishing?
So I originally I started fishing with my grandfather up in the northwest for trout and lakes. Don't judge me.
Sea trout? They got sea trout up there?
Lake trout.
You talking about them little? Oh, the fat boys. The big fat boys?
Well,
or no, not some rainbows?
Occasionally. Anyway.
Ice fishing? Were you doing this all day with like a 3-foot rod, just waiting for that monster to bow you over?
You know, it's gonna catch shit from this. Okay. I moved to Jupiter, to South Florida, when I was 13 years old, and obviously, growing up here, you're young. It's what you do.
You were a pier rat.
No, I wasn't a pier rat. I wasn't a pier rat.
Taylor, be honest.
Nothing against pier rats. They make up a big portion of our customer base. But no, I was a dock guy, man. I had a bunch of friends with docks, and we would hang out on docks and steal our parents' beer and mostly fish dead bait. Yeah. But we caught a lot
of catfish.
Yeah.
A lot of catfish.
Yeah. So anyway, the but in fishing this area so long, this brings me to why we got into rod building, because I know for me, I got into artificials. I started throwing artificials more.
It's the way to catch snook.
Yeah. So and when that happened, I realized that there weren't a lot of rods out there, factory rods, that would do what I wanted them to do. That they either weren't ideal for working bait, or working lures, they weren't as sensitive as I'd like, or they had action that I didn't really like, or they weren't good for fighting fish. They had no backbone, or they had too much backbone, or they were too heavy, or the grip placement was not what I wanted. So as I started fishing more and more with artificials, I realized that I need gear that suits me. I think that's what a lot of people go through.
Yeah. I mean, once you figure out what you like, then you try to find the perfect thing to fit that. And the problem with factory rods is they typically just don't. They work well for a large number of people, but they don't work perfect for anyone.
Yeah, and God bless them. I mean, they're trying to build a product to reach as many people as possible. So, hey, this rod, this state company here. this rod will work for, you know, a 3,000 size spinning reel all the way up to an 8,000 size spinning reel. Okay, like it will.
Don't work great on any of them except maybe one. You know, like 6K might be your sweet spot. Sucks with a 3K. It's okay with an 8, you know, but
yeah, because they would kill their market if they said, no, this is the reel, you have to fish with this rod.
Well, then they would have to come out with 5 times as many rods.
Yeah. So it's understandable why they try to build rods for such a broad demographic. But when you get into targeting fish, especially with artificials, you do want that rod that will perform the best for what you are using for a reel, what type of line you're using, what lure you're throwing. And that's when you get into things that become so specific that you can't find them in a factory rod. So, you know, when I got into rod building and I was fishing these artificials, I knew one of the rods that I really wanted to find, I like throwing shrimp jigs. They're one of my go-to baits. You know, 3/4 ounce head with a 4-inch shrimp tail. Great for snook, great for redfish and some heavier current, a little bit deeper water. I couldn't find a rod that had a heavy enough power with a fast enough action. I just couldn't find it. I ended up actually, the closest thing I ever came was a back bouncing rod for salmon that I had found. Somehow made its way down to South Florida and was in a rod shop, and I picked it up. I said, oh, this is my word. I caught a ton of fish on it, but it still wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
It was close, but it just wasn't exactly what I wanted.
Well, that's like, you know, pompano fishing, for instance. Like a lot of guys that pompano fish, nothing against pompano fishing. It's not for me, but they like salmon rods. They like a thin 10-foot rod where they can launch a light bait way out into the surf and then just sit there and wait for a bite, you know?
Yeah.
There's a kid that I'm really good friends with, awesome guy, and he is a diehard pompano fisherman, and you know, that's what he wants, and he orders salmon rods from Europe or whatever, and like that's what he fishes for pompano.
Because that's and that's the thing is once you become obsessive, which I think we classify as obsessive. I know
our wives definitely say so.
Please don't ask either of our wives' opinion about how much we fish or how much we might spend on fishing gear.
It's too much.
Let's just avoid the whole subject. The trick is you don't think about it. But you know, you get so obsessive that you realize, okay, there's more out there, and I got to try and explore it. I got to find, you know, better equipment, better rods, better reels, and until you find what you like. And I don't think there's a way to do that without getting into custom rods.
I mean, yeah, there's not. You know, there's so many more blanks available for custom rod building than there are production rods.
Hundreds.
Where like you can go through and find the exact blank that you want and then have it built with the exact grip lengths you want, the exact grip material, the reel seat, the guides, and have the perfect rod. Where like with production rods, I mean, if you find a production rod that's perfect for you, my fucking hat's off to you.
Hold on to it.
Buy four of them.
Stick them in the corner. Keep them as backups. And more power to you. If someone asks me when I get a customer calling, say, hey, I love this factory rod. I catch a ton of fish on it. I'm thinking about getting into a custom. You know, I'm on the fence. I never push them to go the custom route. If you like what you're fishing, stick with it, dude. Here's a little secret, which is probably gonna ruin some ideas here, but the fish don't give a fuck what rod you've got. Will a custom rod produce a bite? Hell no. But if you find a bite and you have a custom rod and you know what you're doing with it, you can be more productive with it, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, you can maximize your opportunity, your casting distance, your fish fighting power, all of that stuff.
Yeah, and so in upcoming videos, we're going to be taking you through some more of the processes of building a custom rod, everything from blank selection, reel seat placement. We'll get into some of the decoration. We'll get into guide layouts. The most important thing to me when someone comes and they ask me to build them a rod, I want to build it for that person. We do have lines of pre-built collections that we release based on preferences, the most common preferences of fishermen. But if someone calls me and says, hey, I want you to build me a rod, there's a lot of questions that follow that I have for them, which is, most important, what are you trying to do with the rod? Are you trying to throw artificials? Are you trying to throw live bait? Are we talking, big swim baits? Are we talking light swim baits? All these things are going to factor into what my recommendations are going to be for that rod.
Well, and a lot of the times, they just don't know. They want something pretty and unique. Sure. They want a one-off of something, and they're still not exactly sure what they like, and then that gets into an even deeper conversation where you have to be like, okay, well, what rods do you currently fish? What reels do you have on those rods? What are you targeting? How do you fish? Do you fish from the beach, from the jetty, from the bridge, from a kayak, from a boat? There's so many factors that come into it, and then even still, sometimes you're left leaving the conversation with I'm not really exactly sure what they want,
Sure. Yeah. And if they don't know what they want, that's why we're here. I like it when someone knows what they want because it takes the guesswork out of my wheelhouse.
But it's fun to make the suggestions too, to tell someone, based on what you've told me, this is what I think you should get. And sometimes they listen and sometimes they don't. And, unfortunately, if they don't, that's out of your control. You still build them the best rod you can based on what it is they want.
And that's the bottom line. Is that we don't let a rod get out this door that we wouldn't fish ourselves and fish hard. I mean, these things are made to fish hard. We do a lot of thread work on some rods. They might look good. Make no mistake, they are tools. They are made to take it. We don't compromise on materials. We use certain components from different companies that we know work and that we know will last better than anything else we've tried.
So, talking about fishing rods hard, that, reminds me of you talking about flipping that snook on the bridge the other night with a 10-20 freshwater rod that it was built to catch snook. It wasn't built to flip snook.
No, it's foolish.
But it worked.
No, it was feeding my ego is what it was. I should have been smart and just waited for someone to drop a net, but I fucking got impatient and it was foolish. It worked out. I did learn that the rod is stronger than I originally thought.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't recommend flipping fish. Period. Just because.
On 20-pound class freshwater rods from the bridge.
Dude, with customers, I just say don't try not to flip fish. They're gonna call me if that rod breaks, and I don't care what rod it is, man. Every rod has a breaking point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take you through some of these processes, and hopefully hopefully we can teach you something. I don't know how many hundreds of rods I've built. We built a lot. So with that, stay tuned.
Yeah.